What's up, everybody? My name is Bryce, aka DubsNotSubs, and in today's video, we got a lot of stuff going over today. We got some manga coming out on the Switch. We got to go over the Shonen Jump rankings, and even 7 Seas released some new manga, or licensed some new manga. But as you can see, if you're watching, and as you're going to hear in a second, there's actually somebody else with me, and it is my good friend Zach over at Uchuu. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself for all those who don't know you?
Yeah, I'm actually just on my way out, so just good luck with the podcast. I'm going to take off.
Thanks, man.
Do you need me for anything else?
Forever alone.
Do you need me to finish? Oh, you need me to actually do this?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I did PayPal you that $50.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was kind of the fee to get me on for this, but we can talk, financials after. Okay. Anyways, my name is Zach. Zach from Uchuu Shelf, as some of you may know. I am a manga content creator over here on YouTube. You can find me at youtube.com/UchuuShelf. And yeah, I have podcasts, other YouTube. This is really all you really need to know. And yeah, thanks for having me on today.
Oh yeah, dude, it's gonna be fun, man. I enjoy it. Like, your videos, honestly, you and Alex were the people who got me into YouTube. Your videos, like the cover design shit, was awesome because around that time I was in college doing like Photoshop stuff, so I was like, oh man, this is my shit. It was awesome. That's why I even stole your idea.
One person enjoyed this.
Dude, I mean, you never got the views from it, but just know it affected me. You got me into it for it though, so it paid off in the end.
Well, that's all I need. That's all I need, to be honest. Yeah.
Without your videos,
that's why I started making videos, to be honest, So.
Yeah, right? All right. Well, without further ado, let's get into our first section, and that is Inky Pen is getting manga. So this is the Nintendo Switch app that usually housed comics, and now they're going to be getting in Kodansha stuff. Only Kodansha right now. 7 Seas, other things might move in later, but for now, this is just Kodansha. So right here, let's get into the article. We have, starting today, you can read Kodansha comics and vertical manga on Nintendo Switch with Inky Pen, all you can read subscription service. You can now read the world's top manga on your Nintendo Switch using Inky Pen. The all you can read comics subscription service, Inky Pen, has joined forces with Kodansha USA Publishing. Perseverers, wow, that's like surveyors with a P. I can't read that. Of some of the world's most recognized manga properties to bring you all you can read manga to its subscription catalog, retailing at $7.99 USD. So actually, I did see you post about this on Twitter. So have you used it, and what do you think about it?
Yeah. So I have used it. Before I get into it, if anyone is like tried to use it and it doesn't work, if you play Animal Crossing and you change your date to time travel, the app just does not work. So you have to set your clock back to what it normally should be. Like, you have to sync
time travel like the cheating thing.
Yeah, but I missed getting turnips this week, and that's bullshit. So I went back and got some turnips.
It's justified. I get it.
Exactly. It's justified. So I did get into it. Have you used it at all?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so I was it was like £5.99 pounds here. So I thought, what the hell? I'll throw £6 into the ring and just check it out. And actually, not too bad. Like, a few different problems that I have with it. Like, mainly, if you're holding it like you would a normal Switch, the experience is garbage. It's just not even worth doing. It has a handy little rotate button that you can click. It's really hidden away. But basically, when you're reading the actual manga, if you tap on the screen, a bar will come from the top. And in the top right corner, there's a rotate button. So if you click that, it rotates it like you can hold it like you would hold a phone. And it's perfect. Like, you can use your thumb, you can use the joysticks. It's actually not too bad.
No. I was going to ask about that too, if it rotated.
Yeah, well, thankfully it did. And I didn't find out until after, because I was going to do like a review video for it, and I just gave up because it didn't work. But and I was like, while I was recording it, I was like, yeah, it's, the selection is good, but it's kind of weird. And then I'll see if I can find the actual outtakes. But I was like, oh wait, there's a rotate button.
This changes everything.
I was like, no, hold on, that's exactly it. It changed everything. So
right.
If you're gonna read manga on the Inky Pen, you got to use the rotate button. But the selection of manga on this app actually really good. There's a lot of things that are like volumes 1 and 2, a lot of just volume 1s. There's some series that have the full thing. Like, there's a manga called Alive: The Final Evolution, which has pretty much everything. There's Bloody Monday, which I haven't actually read the manga. I've watched the live action drama. That's got quite a few. There's Land of the Lustrous. There's Attack on Titan, Fairy Tail, Seven Deadly Sins. There is a good amount of manga on here. As someone who has been pushing for the Netflix of manga, this is the right start for it.
Oh yeah, dude, it sounds pretty cool. And can we go on? I'm gonna go off on a little bit of a rabbit trail here because you named a manga that I talk about all the time that I never hear anybody talk about. But have you read Alive? the final evolution?
Yeah, so I have read I had the first, I think it was 2 or 3 volumes. Trying to remember before I lost my collection. Because I read it in anticipation of the anime that was supposed to come out.
Okay.
Of it, and then it got canceled. But I have read it, yeah, basically. Not all of it, but I've read some of it.
Right. Dude, I love that. I read it all on digital because the main thing I use is Comixology, which usually has all the Kodansha stuff. It has like usually like the first half for free, and then you have to pay for like the second half. But dude, I read Alive, and it like blew my mind. It's by Achitoku, the same person who did Noragami, and that's why I love it so much. Well, she did the art
too. I just figured that out. Like it was like the guy who did Noragami. Insane. I never knew that. It's weird.
Dude, it's awesome, bro. It's so good. But anyway, before I go, I will fanboy out like hardcore if I get the chance. But this app's actually pretty good. So when you rotate it, it's pretty much it's just like one page, right? And then you can like scroll like that.
Yeah. So there's 2 different ways you can read. So you can read it like you would. It would put 2 pages on the screen at a time. Pain in the ass. That's not the way to do it. The way to do it is you can just switch it to like 1 page.
Yeah.
And then. So you would like read it like the 2 modes are called book mode and then scroll mode. So book mode is exactly what it sounds like. You're holding it, you switch like you would, and it's like the 2 pages. Or you can do scroll mode, which blows up the page to the side of the screen, and then you like use the scroll. You can scroll with your finger or thumb or whatever. You can use the Joy-Cons, but they both admittedly look terrible when you're holding the Switch like you would normally hold the Switch. Like you have to use rotate mode.
I was gonna say like the aspect ratio on the Switch would not be good at all. It just does not look like it would fit.
It's just not, it doesn't work. And they, to their credit, they have tried to do everything they can to mitigate the fact that the Switch's aspect ratio sucks. Like if you're reading it in book mode, you can use the right Joy-Con, like the stick on it, to zoom in and out, which is just not fun. And you have to zoom in and then use the left Joy-Con stick to like scroll on the page. I was like, this is stupid. Like I'm not going to use it, and I was getting frustrated with it. Then I found the best way to read it on Inky Pen on the Switch is continuous scroll mode in rotate mode.
Okay, nice. I do think there's another streaming service on like the Switch though. I'm not exact. I don't remember what it's called, but there is like another like manga thing that Kodansha jumped on. But I don't actually remember what it's called, and I don't know if it's a subscription service or they just added manga, like basically. But this is pretty cool. It'll be cool for people on Switch to actually be able to read it. And the thing about I want to bring this up because I think we're pretty much done. Do you have anything more you want to say about Inky Pen?
Oh yeah, I mean, if people are put off by the fact that it's like Switch only, I'm like 99% certain, I'm not 100% certain on this, that they are working on other platforms. So if you want to get in on it now, like I'm pretty sure it's going to come to like PC phones, tablets, whatever. But
nice.
Even just on the Switch, $7.99 for like literally tons of manga. Like there's a lot of manga. Like it's worth it.
Awesome.
It really is.
Nice. Yeah, what I was going to bring up about last week was I talked about Mangamo, which was that, I think you know about that, the other streaming service that came out on Apple, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
let's just get that out of the way. That's dead in the water.
Here's the thing. It's dead now and it's going back to production, but I didn't know who the investors were for it. Do you know like some of the investors for this?
I don't know investors. I know one of the big Japanese publishers has a stake in it. I'm pretty sure it's Kodansha because I think they've
Kodansha does, Viz does, and Hulu does. And I think there's another big company that's in there. And I was like, it might be dead now, but
I know Tokyo Pop. Oh no, I'm thinking of it. Is it Tokyo Pop? No, I'm thinking of someone else. Which is actually can bring up another point is Manga Rock is back now known as Inker.
What?
With their new app.
Yeah, so
Manga Rock.
Oh, is it?
It's legal now. So Manga Rock rebranded as Inker.
Okay.
INKR. They came back and launched their app. It's in private beta, or not private, public beta because you have to go on their website to download the actual app.
Okay.
So they've got it's a lot of Korean webtoons. It's a lot of just regular webtoons, and then a lot of so the only manga company they're working with right now is Tokyo Pop, which I thought was dead, but is apparently still publishing some like Boys Love and Yaoi stuff. And they're also doing adaptations of like Disney princesses.
Yes, yeah.
Like manga adaptations. So it's like all these it's to its credit, Inker's doing the best it can. The selection on it is garbage.
Yeah.
So
dude, okay.
Not even worth it.
For Tokyo Pop, like you said, like they're basically doing all that like just basically princess stuff and just really bad manga. There's actually a manga on there that I found that is pretty good, and it's called The Fox and the Little Tanuki. It's very Disney inspired, and I don't think it's an adaptation. Sure. It's by somebody else, and it's actually pretty good. And it surprised me because that site you sent me that we were talking about that gets you like books early. I read one of those on there, and I was like, "Whoa, this is actually like surprisingly like good." It seems very like younger kid oriented, but it has like a strong Disney feel, and it's basically about like not ghosts, animal spirits in like Japanese culture, and about how this like bad fox has to do repentance for like by raising this tanuki to be a servant of the god. And it's actually like very sweet, and the art's pretty good, and I was like thoroughly surprised. And they're doing like physical releases of it too.
Oh, okay. See, that's the weird thing, because I like Tokyo Pop was like the big one when I was like first getting into manga. There's like Tokyo Pop, CMX, DC had a thing. It might have been CMX. I don't remember. Del Rey, that's the name of it.
Yeah.
And like Viz had like just kind of started. Like they had their own thing, but they had a lot of like Tokyo Pop is what Viz is now. And Viz had like Tokyo Pop had a lot of problems, which we just don't have time to get into today.
Yeah.
Anyone's interested to know what they are, Red Bard on YouTube has a really extensive video on all of Tokyo Pop's problems. Fantastic video.
I was just about to say that. I'll put a link in the description for it.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was surprised that it's back, knowing what I know about them.
Yeah, it's weird, like all the like shady stuff they got into, and somehow they survived, because I think all that's open right now is like their German like division. It's weird, like how they like barely survived.
Their German division is like there was like Tokyo Pop and then Tokyo Pop Germany, and manga is like a whole different ballgame in Germany, like the same like it is in France.
Yeah.
So Tokyo Pop was for whatever reason able to thrive there, but because of all the crap they did here in the States and everything, it just like completely. So they're just two separate entities. But like Tokyo Pop is still, I guess, going at it now, like in America, but they're just doing all the Disney stuff. So
yeah,
which is weird.
It seems like they're slowly coming back, because they have like Undead Messiah, and then they have like a couple other like series. So I think they might be trying to like make a comeback now.
They're trying.
Yeah.
They're trying their best.
We'll see how that works. But anyway, that is it for the Inky Pen Nintendo Switch app. I believe it is free to download, but then $8 a month. And like Zach said, it could be coming out to other platforms. It will be really cool. And on Netflix for manga seems impossible, but you never know till you try. And I hope that we get it at some time. But anyway, next up we have... What are you going to say?
I was gonna say this is the right step towards the Netflix.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Manga, so definitely check it out.
But okay, real quick before, because I don't want to go on too many rabbit trails, but this brought it up because I like streaming services and stuff. But we're getting so many new streaming services that I'm worried it's gonna become like the anime.
Again. It's just cable again.
Yeah, it's
just cable again.
It's just so many different packages to read different manga, and I'm worried that it's just going to end up turning people off of buying these subscription services, because there's so many. It's going to be so overwhelming, because like people complain about anime. Like there's you have Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, Funimation, Verve, Crunchyroll, but you can tie those together in High Dive, and like get all your manga or like get all your anime. It just is so expensive. I'm afraid that's going to turn people off for manga, and they're just going to pirate it.
Oh, of course it will. Yeah, I mean, people I think see more value in anime because it's more of a tangible thing. Because you're sitting there and you're watching it,
yeah,
and you're actively like you don't have to actively stimulate yourself to some degree, the same way you have to like when you're reading a book or something. So like when you're reading, like you can buy your subscriptions to manga and you watch your manga or your anime rather, and you watch anime, you feel the value kind of immediately. I think when people buy digital manga, it's like, okay, I just spent $10 on a file,
yeah,
thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm worried that's kind of the attitude people have towards it. It's kind of my attitude towards digital manga. I'm not the biggest fan of digital manga. If I'm going to spend all that money on a book, I'd rather actually just have the book.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I won't buy full price manga. Like on Comixology, that's what I use basically. I refuse to buy anything for full price on there, because there's no point, because you're not paying for like...
No, exactly.
And I don't even pay full price for physical manga, so why would I pay more for like a digital only thing? But anyway, we'll get back on topic with our next thing. Before we just end here all day. Like we could go down that trail, but we could do that for another video probably.
Sure.
Anyway, let's get on to the Shonen Jump TOC. So basically, there's two things I want to point out with this. We have the new Shonen Jump series, Bone Collection, and then also we have basically every single new series up in the bottom of the TOC, which is very worrying, except for Mashley. But before we get into the bottoming out of all those series, let's get into Bone Collection. So Bone Collection basically is... in a world in Tokyo, yokai are very accepted, very well known, and there are exorcists in the world, and it's just well accepted and just a normal occurrence. And we follow our hero or protagonist, Jinne, who is an exorcist in high school, and he goes to fight a yokai one day. He ends up sucking at it because he sucks at it, apparently. You learn in the manga. And his childhood friend, Renee, or Renei. It's a bit weird because it's Japanese, and again, I don't pronounce things very well, but she's very good at it, and they're childhood friends, and he has an inferiority complex about it, and he's kind of sad about it. They're talking after this exorcist fight about how he wants to get stronger, and you get kind of hinted at this weird forbidden power that gets shown later on. So basically, you continue as he's walking home alone. A girl falls out of these yokai portals, which is basically how yokai get in here into this world, and he catches her. He doesn't really know who she is or like why she has this humanoid form. It progresses on, and they kind of go through this like these funny situations of he doesn't know who they are, and they just kind of mess around. And a yokai ends up breaking it again, and is a very high class level yokai. So he grabs the girl, and then for some reason you see that she is not getting crushed or destroyed or anything, and this kind of is a bit weird. And Jinne, who is kind of has this like, who's very perverted and also like that typical shonen, I gotta protect the girl no matter what kind of aspect. He ends up protecting her by using this forbidden spell, which basically is called basically what happens is it gives the yokai that you get to use the yokai's power, but in return you slowly turn the yokai the more you use it. So we get to see him basically just one-shot the monster, and then we find out that the girl that fell out is actually one of the rulers of the yokai and one of the most powerful figures in the yokai universe, and that's where the chapter ends. So, Zach, I know you haven't read it, but we kind of gave you a synopsis, and I think you looked over it for a little bit. So, what do you have to say about it?
Well, I've seen a couple of pages posted on Twitter, like panels and everything, and I've seen like the cover from this week's Shonen Jump. It looks intriguing enough. Just from your description and other people's description, it just sounds like Demon Slayer meets Jujutsu Kaisen. It doesn't sound entirely too original, and if I have to say without reading it, probably won't last that long.
Oh yeah, I don't see it really lasting too long either. I think it's going to end up being like Last Sayuki, which is actually, this person is the assistant from the manga Last Sayuki, which I actually did enjoy Last Sayuki, but I'm not going to go off on that tangent.
I enjoyed that too, but yeah, I'm not going to go off that tangent either, but that was like, that's one of those series that got cut short.
Yeah, I was pretty sad about it, but this series itself, like, the art isn't as good. I'm going to compare it to Last Sayuki because he was an assistant there. The art is like Last Sayuki, but if he had, like, half a week's less time. Like, it's okay, and it has its moments where it's good, but sometimes it's just very, like, it just seems not, it's just not drawn, like, crazy well, but at the same time, it's not to the point where you hate it. Like, some of the characters' faces are a little bit weird, but, like, the yokai, for the most part, look pretty good, and overall the battles and stuff didn't get too muddled or bad, but like you said, it doesn't really seem like it's going to go too long. It's probably going to get cut short, but it also has a kind of an entertaining of a concept.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds interesting, and it sounds like it kind of sets itself up to kind of build on a world a bit better than some manga that I've read, but this is what, Shonen Jump's third current Exorcist-related manga? Like, right? And it doesn't sound as good as the two that are already in it. Like, it just doesn't bode well for me, at least.
This is, it's probably gonna get oversaturated and probably kicked out, which is sad. Because they're like, we're gonna get to we might as well move to the next point, which is gonna turn into this. It's like all their new series are basically on the bottom. Like, I don't know how a Gravity Boys is still in here. It's on the very bottom, and it's been there for a while. And I've been talking shit about this.
Gravity Boys is the worst. And everybody except us seems to like it. It is the worst pile of garbage I've read in this magazine for years. I don't understand it. It is stupid. It's dumb. The art is okay. That's its selling point. The characters are annoying. The story is just ridiculous and far-fetched. Like, maybe if it was like a gag manga, which maybe it is, okay, sure. But just as a generic sci-fi comedy, not funny. It's not that funny. It's not. I'm just frustrated by it. I just don't understand why it's taking up.
I feel
space.
You, man. It's gotta go. It's got.
Yeah,
I feel like it's getting canceled. It's definitely gonna get canceled. It's gonna be a Gravity Boys Guardian of the Wind.
I mean, I guess it's not. But apparently, it's received well in Japan, at least up until this point.
What are these people doing over there, over in like Japan? I think they've lost their mind with this whole COVID thing. Gravity Boys is somehow staying alive. Dude, I don't get it, man. But yeah, you have things like Guardian of the Witch second to bottom, so that's definitely going to go too. I heard like Alex was super into it, and then I heard that he just kind of fell off with it because like the trading arc put him off.
To be fair, because I was reading it along with him. it had a very strong start. The premise was incredible. It was unfortunately one of these stories that, unless it went in a specific direction, it was just gonna be bad. And unfortunately, it just went down the wrong path. That's really all it is.
Yeah.
The bad thing too is the characters are forgettable. The characters are super forgettable. The art is really janky, especially like the characters' faces. You know, I read this thing every week except the last 3 weeks. I don't remember any of the characters' names. So.
Oh, I don't either, dude. And I still read it. I've been reading it every week. The only 2 series I don't read right now that from like the new stuff is Mora King and Gravity Boys. And Mora King's got to go out that window. That thing was trash. I hate that series. That and the Gravity Boys are my 2 least favorite. What's up?
It was on the cover this week though, so it got to be somewhat popular.
Okay, it's good. The only people who enjoy that series are people who are little kids. Like, I'm just gonna say that. I don't see how anybody above the age of like 6 can enjoy it.
It's like a kid's magazine, to be fair, but I see what you mean though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can. It's 100% not my thing. Like, that's just why I don't like it at all. But then you had things like Undead Unluck, which I know you said you didn't really. I don't know. Did you say you didn't like it? Right.
I didn't like it, but apparently it gets a lot better. The reason I didn't like it, I thought the premise was interesting. I don't like the characters, and just like the really generic, like, oh, I'm gonna touch your boobs right now, and that's just like how it works. It's like, that's so stupid, and like nobody has a problem with it, much less like the main character. It's like, okay, and what does this add to the story? Like,
right?
You know, especially because like the main character doesn't seem to be a pervert. Like, if he was a pervert and it was like a comedy, it'd be like, haha, he's like, not to excuse sexual assault.
If it's funny, it's okay.
No, well, no. I don't know. It was just weirdly out of place. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's just,
Right. Again, that was a joke. I was not serious about that, just in case anyone takes it that way.
You're not advocating.
Yeah, I'm not advocating it. But the way it does change a lot. So basically, like you said, that was a problem I had too. I was like, this is kind of just forced and weird. But as it continues, they definitely lay back into it, and they use it more in an actual way that makes sense. Like the current arc that it's going through right now. The way they use her unluck is actually it's actually a pretty interesting way of how they do it. I don't want to spoil it for people or for you, but I mean, if you want to give it a chance, it does get better. Like it changes up a lot from him just trying to die. So basically, it kind of switches up into the point where they end up finding this just kind of people like them that fight other people like them who aren't listed. It's weird. It's a bit weird, like what they're doing, but it makes sense if you read it. But it's okay. It's like it's okay, and it's like the fourth to last right here, and I don't really see it going too far either because I don't think the book sales are doing too well.
I haven't heard anything about the book sales, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. But next up, we're going to go on to Mitama Security, which is actually a series that I thoroughly enjoy. It's a gag manga about this guy who is a ghost. He kind of exercises ghosts, and there's a girl named Reina who basically has like just a huge trail of ghosts, and it's a gag manga about him. He is scared of ghosts, and they're just interactions. It's actually pretty funny, and the art's pretty good. The characters are really good. It stays fresh. I really thought the concept of them being scared of ghosts was going to get old, but the thing is they branch away from that, and that was my worry at first. I was like, this is going to get old if the only thing is that she's scared of ghosts. But the way they branch out the comedy and they make it better and better as it goes on, I actually do really like this one, and I think for a gag comedy, it's like ranking decent enough, because I don't think gag comedies usually do too well in the manga.
It's the gags I think are good. I think they work. I'm not a huge fan of gag manga, so I read the first chapter and I was like, yeah, it's all right. Maybe I'll read it again because you seem to like it.
The thing I think I enjoyed about it, I do think it's like genuinely funny, but I also really like that it was not the same just shonen action like in the manga. It's a nice switch up to like read when you're reading each week because it's just stupid comedy and it's fun to laugh at and you don't really have to think too much into the story. So it's nice to just get away from like that shonen stuff.
Okay, that's a fair way to look at it, I suppose. Yeah.
Right. Okay, then next up we have Yozakara Family, which is this one. I don't know how it's doing so well because in my opinion, I think it is worse than what it was going to do. It kind of just turned into short story comedies each week. It's just kind of turned into like there's one little gimmick. Actually, there was this week or this current like I guess arc you would say it's just like 3 chapters and I think it's over now. But it's usually just a collection of like short little like like comedy things that happen within inside the family. I thought it was going to be this bigger thing of him trying to defend her against all these like increasingly stronger like agents that are trying to kill them and like take over the family and stuff. But it just turned into kind of like this like lighthearted comedy, which is a little jarring, but I don't think it's too bad. Have you read Mission Yozakara Family?
No, I mean that's another one that just didn't like stick out to me. I don't know, like it just there's something about it. Like when I think of shonen, especially Shonen Jump, I just like the actiony stuff, or like the mystery stuff like Death Note and Promised Neverland. So stuff like gag manga or stuff like Mission Yozakura Family just don't really jump out to me. Even Act Age, which or Act Dodge, however you pronounce it, apparently is like really friggin' good, but I've never gotten into it just because it doesn't appeal to me at all.
Yeah, I actually have a review copy of Act Age. I just need to get into it. I'm kind of waiting until it like gets released so I can talk about it later or like more. But I 100% feel you, because that's why I don't like Yozakara Family anymore. Because before it was set up to be like this huge like action, over the top like cool like secret agent stuff, but it just ended up devolving into like this really like basic comedy, and it's doing the best out of all the new stuff, surprisingly, for at least for this TLC it is. And I think it's gonna do well because it's the end of this arc, and usually the end of like arcs do better for people, so we'll probably do decent enough. But last up we have Mashley. This one is doing the best out of all the newbies, at least from what I know. I think the art in this series is absolutely terrible, and I think if the story wasn't as good as it was,
it's just the point of it. The art, it's a gag manga through and through, and this is the one gag manga. I know I said it like literally minutes ago I didn't like gag manga, but Mashley is just so goddamn hilarious. Like,
oh yeah,
that first chapter, like I'm not a big fan of comedy manga to begin with, but I was just like page to page just laughing. Like it's just so stupid and so funny. And it's just a lot of the comedy in Mashley, I think, is in the faces. And just the absurdity of like, it's just all so stupid. It's just Harry Potter meets Mob Psycho. And it just,
and parodies for whatever reason, every shonen concept out there. And that's what makes it so good.
Yeah. It's just so funny. Like,
dude, I love it. Yeah. But it's interesting that your favorite part was the, is it your like the faces? Is that like your favorite part about it, or that's what you think is the best part about it?
The thing that sold me, like the one scene specifically, is I'm pretty sure it's Mashley's like got the weights on his like arms, like resting on his arms or whatever, and he's just like doing the can, and the next panel's just like a squirrel with its mouth dropped open, and it's just dropped like an acorn, and he's just like, holy hell!
Yeah, I get
so
it.
Fun.
My favorite part about it is like just the over the top like parody on shonen things. That's like my favorite part about it, is just how like over the top and like wacky these people are, and like just how like overly like how you could tell it's just like overly a joke of like Mashley just doesn't care about anything. The spiky haired dude like overly into girls and thinking he's the protagonist. He's just like the basic protagonist parody. You got the girl who's she's like overly needy and all that, but they all like play into their own gag, and that's what makes it like just so unique and funny.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think this, yeah, I 100% can respect that this is doing the best. I wish that Mitoma was doing better than it was, and I wish Undead was doing the best it was, but I'm kind of worried. Like, I keep saying this every time I talk about this, but we're in a point where a lot of manga for Shonen Jump's going to end, and this is going to get real sketchy for the magazine unless they find something.
That's the thing. I mean, it's important to remember that anytime a mangaka, especially in Shonen Jump, says, I'm in the climax of my story, you've got at least another 10 years. Because, I mean, Oda, who did One Piece, has been saying, I remember, I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong, being in high school, and I'm almost 30, and him saying, yeah, One Piece is like almost done. I was a good 10, 11, 12 years ago. So
right. I mean, that's what happened with Demon Slayer, too. I think that was going to end before the anime started, and then that went right up again. So then I think, Dr. Stone is supposed to be close to ending, I heard. Promised Neverland is. I think even Demon Slayer is, too.
Yeah, Demon Slayer even is
and Haiku. I think
Haiku, I can see, yeah, from what I've heard of. I'm not caught up, but what I've heard of it.
Me either, but yeah, from what I've heard, like, it's like, this is like the final thing or whatever. And it's weird to like force people, because I don't want it to be like, I know a lot of people, I don't know exactly because I haven't read Bleach, but a lot of people talk about how Bleach was forced to continue, and how like the arc after like it was getting forced, it was like bad or whatever. At least I think
final arc. It's not that the final arc sucked. It's that the beginning of the final arc was really like just fantastic, and then the rest of it was just rushed, and then it was canceled. So.
Man, it's sad that you hate to see it, like they just like, because it's just going for money, and you just see like a good series go down. So I hope none of this happens for this, but you never know. Because, like, with all that series ending, I can't imagine them just being like, okay, you guys can all enjoy your series at the same time. They're going to be like, no, some people are going to have to stay and, like, drag out that story.
Yeah. Like, that's the only thing, because, like, if every, like, I'm just trying to think, like, if, I don't think One Piece is going to end anytime soon.
No.
I'm fairly certain My Hero Academia is going for the long run. I know for a fact Black Clover wants to be the
Black
quote-unquote...
Clover's trying to be One Piece.
It's trying to be have the One Piece length and be the Berserk of Shonen, which it's doing very well right now, I should add. That's, you know, Chainsaw Man, maybe. That thing is insane. How it's in Shonen Jump is beyond me.
I don't understand that, dude.
If there was a top 3, if there was like a big 3 nowadays, it would be One Piece, My Hero Academia, Black Clover, and Jujutsu Kaisen would be like right there in number 4. And honestly, when I think of Shonen Jump, those 4 series, maybe Kimetsu no Yaiba and Dr. Stone. What's the other one? Promised Neverland. Those are what I think of when I think of Shonen Jump right now. If either like and it feels like all of those except for maybe the big 3 I said are going to end soon, and that leaves, like, especially because, like, at least for me, and I could be completely wrong and have like the worst taste in manga because of this. A lot of the new series, except for Mashal and barely Mashal, just aren't doing it for me. They just don't feel. And having read Shonen Jump for as long as I have, you kind of get a feeling when something's going to stick around and when something isn't. And I haven't gotten that feeling with any of them so far.
Yeah. I do think, if I'm going to be generous, I do think Mitsuma's going to stay because I think that's been doing well. I think even sales, it might be doing okay. And Undeadly Unluck is the only other two in, like, the newbie stuff that I can see continue.
Yeah, okay. I can see it, yeah. You know, Guardian of the Witch for sure is on its way out. Gravity Boys has to be on its way out.
I cannot believe it's still there.
I called Zipman being canceled.
Oh, there's no way Zipman was going to stay.
By the summer. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? It's so good. Well, apparently it wasn't.
Not good enough.
You know?
It was just an okay series at best. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be iffy to see. We're going to find out later if Shonen Jump can pull it through. I believe in them, and I hope they do well. But we're going to get on to our next subject, which is basically something I did not steal this off of Hot Ones, I swear. No, I'm just kidding. I 100% stole this off of Hot Ones. We're going
Welcome to Hot
Welcome to Hot Ones with hot questions and even hotter wings. Wait, is that how? I think I said it wrong. With hot wings and even hotter questions. That's what it is.
Hotter wings.
Whoops. But anyway, basically, I took a deep dive on Uchuu's Twitter, or Zach's Twitter. I'm gonna call you Zach because I don't like saying Uchuu. It's too long.
Fine.
Okay. Yeah. So I took a dive on this. We're gonna look into these pictures right here. Do you have them pulled up, or do you want?
I will open all 5 of these suspiciously linked photos.
Yeah. There's not a virus on any of them, I swear.
And my computer shut down. No.
All
right, let's. I'm assuming we're starting with this I am blocked photo.
Yes, here you go. We're gonna start off with this Alinity photo. Please let me know how this even happened.
Well, you know, this was at the highlight of Alinity feeding her cat alcohol and throwing her cat around. And following that, a video surfaced from Twitch where, just look at it now, it's in the GIF there below.
I see it right here to the right. The bite.
She's singing, and every time she sings, one of her cats attacks her. But this particular time, she was singing, and her cat came up, chowed down on a really big part of her arm, and just pulled away as hard as it could. Oh. And then she started crying. And that's one sign. I know this for a fact, and that's a sign is when your cat just randomly attacks you. That's them basically gathering the courage to fight back from abuse. So I linked her the WikiHow on like a really irrelevant tweet of hers. I just sent her the link for a WikiHow of how to tell if your pet has been abused. And within 2 minutes, it was like 2 minutes, I was blocked.
Nice. Yeah. I mean,
you know,
I wouldn't really want her following me or like see her stuff anyway. But that she got what she deserved with that cat bite. That was like swift justice. Unrelated,
she's now off Twitch.
Did she get banned?
She, did you see what happened to her?
No. Oh, the nip slip?
The nip slip.
Well, I thought she didn't get banned because I heard that there was a whole thing about how Twitch mods never let her get banned.
That's what I heard too. And then I gotta look it up now because hold on.
All right, it's fine. Yeah, basically, so for those of you who don't know what happened, I don't even remember what she was doing exactly. But I think she was dancing around, and then she's like taking off her clothes, and then she ends up pulling up her bra and nip slipping it live on Twitch, and it was insane. Everybody knew about it, and then what happened was people were like, "Why isn't she getting banned?" Because usually you'll get like insta banned for like something like that. And then there was this whole thing about like the simp war, how Twitch mods were basically protecting her, and it didn't happen. And whenever
let's just jump back to the Twitch mods being simps. She was only suspended for 24 hours.
Oh, she didn't even get banned for that?
She was banned for 24 hours. Her account was gone for 24 hours. She came back and said, falling on her sword bullshit, where she's like, I don't feel like it was long enough. So she just didn't go to Twitch for 3 days, and all her simps are clapping their hands. So
they're so proud.
She didn't get what's coming to her after all, so I guess I have to send her more links, but I can't do that right now.
It's so messed up, dude. And like, this simp war. I like when you posted that tweet about that dude like freaking out somebody's anime like recommendation, some girl just because she like liked an anime, and it was like, man, we're now in a war of simps versus people who anti-simp.
Anti-simp and simp war.
Yeah, it's like people who refuse to simp and hate anyone who does.
Not even halfway through the year.
Dude, we got UFOs, viruses, World War III, cat fights, dude. We keep saying how much worse can it get, but you don't want to keep saying that. It gets worse. It's like this. It's like a Pandora's box, and you're like, "Is it over yet?" And it's like, "Nope, you still got 7 more months, asshole."
Well, let's try and get through it.
We just gotta make it through 2020. This is our trial period. It's like we're paying for all the sins we committed in the past like 2 decades.
Like that you specifically committed in the past 2 decades.
Okay, but anyway, that is the Alinity photo. Anything else you want to say about it before we hop on to our next one?
Fuck Alinity. If you watch her and you're sub to me, unsub for me.
Please unsub. Even from the Exactly account. Anyway, next up we got
65 people follow me on Exactly. Get rid of it.
Get rid of it. You instantly lose everybody.
That would be it.
That would suck. But anyway, next up we have you right here with your cat. We got you with your little kitty cat. So who is this little friend?
That is my son, Harper.
Yeah.
He is a cat. I don't know the breed. If he even I don't know if the cat breeds. He is we just picked up a picture from here. He is a tabby of sorts. Gold markings, dark brown, white, partially pink nose. He has damage in one of his eye, but he can see through it. And his other eye kind of shakes, but apparently he can see through it. So he's kind of got a wonky face. But he's needy as shit. Any doors that are closed, they have to be opened, or he screams for hours. And this particular photo is so he's smart. He's smart too. I should note, like I call him dumb all the time, but he is smart. And every time I close my door from my office when I'm working, he knows not to like come bother me. But sometimes he'll come up, and if I have the door open, he'll sit right outside the door and just start freaking out that I'm not letting him in. So I'll be like, just come in, and he just won't. So I'll get up to go towards the door, and he'll be like, oh no, I'm not in trouble. So he'll run away. But occasionally, if he's feeling really needy, he'll come up and he'll sit himself on my lap, put his front 2 paws up on the desk, and he'll just sit like that for like an hour and a half.
That's awesome. So, has your cat taken a big chunk out of your arm yet?
No, because I actually like my cat.
I treat my cat with respect.
With respect. I don't feed them alcohol.
I can't believe she fed him vodka.
Like, give the cat like, what is it called? Bailey's or something, like something milk related.
Oh, okay.
But also Bailey's, because it's like creamy and milk-like. Like the cat would be able to be like, okay, I get this, but like vodka?
Yeah.
What a stupid, weird thing to like.
She's not smart, dude. She's not smart. Is this what happens when you get away with everything? You just keep upping and upping it. You like Logan Paul yourself until you're in a suicide forest videotaping somebody.
Well, she would have to go outside to do that.
You'd have to leave her house. Imagine her leaving her house and like just like Sims finding her, dude.
I imagine she lives in a like highly simp dense area. So every time she goes to like Trader Joe's or something, I don't know what Trader Joe's is. I assume it's a grocery store.
No, I think it's a fast food place. Actually, I could be wrong.
I don't know. See, it's an American thing. You don't even know this, but I don't know if it's real.
Midwest thing.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I just imagine you're pushing a grocery cart around, like looking over her shoulder, and there's just like simp after simp with their own grocery carts, just following slowly behind her.
You could feel like the heavy breathing behind it.
Oh, it's not even that. It's just like a full like you think, oh man, it's hot in here. Like the
Ew.
It's not. It's the moist breath of every simp following her through at Trader Joe's.
It's so weird, man. I don't understand it. But this cat was awesome. When I saw it, I was like, oh man, this is cute. This has to go up. I was like, look at these two. Like you're looking at each other's eyes. You got like just.
Oh yeah, actually, I looked down at him right up. Oh yeah, he loved it.
That's awesome. But anyway, we're gonna get on to our next photo, and that is this live stream right here with the Hat Squad. And this is actually like one of the first times I think I interacted with you guys. Like I messaged you from the MangaTube thing, but then I did like my own thing on Twitter when I had my own set of hats, like coming back at you guys.
I remember that. Yeah, this was I don't remember how it got to this point. This was late in a 3-hour stream. One person had a hat on, and this just happened.
Yeah, Bay started off with a hat, and then for some reason,
Flip already had a hat on. I already had a hat on. Sam, Manga X Hunter, for those of you who are not aware of him, was like, oh, I feel left out. So he went and got this Tostitos scoops looking thing.
It's like a grandma hat.
Alonzi, I just don't think owns a hat. So I said, I'll put on a hat for you. I put on that pink one there. Flip left and came back with that leaning tower of Pisa of hats. And then I just found 2 more hats. Or no, 3 more hats. I had 5 hats.
You had a power there. This is like a big flex between you two.
Yeah, that's all it was. There's really nothing more I can say. It's just 5 white guys on
5 white guys wearing hats.
Wearing hats.
This is like a very white moment, though. It does feel really white.
Unless you know who the 5 of us are, this photo is not funny at all.
That's true. That's very true.
It still kind of isn't funny.
Well, when I saw it, I just like died laughing. I'm just like, I remember this. This is like good, Matt. This is like a personal choice for me. Anyone else is like, what the fuck are you even like? What's even funny about this? It's just like dudes wearing hats. I was like, that's all it is. You don't understand what this is. Anyway, we're gonna get on to our next photo right here, and this is the Nier Orchestra concert. I was like, when I saw this, I was like, oh, this looks really cool. So how was this like? Like, what was it like?
It was insane. I've only played a little bit of Nier. It's my fiance who is the huge Nier fan and has completed, I believe, every ending of the game. I'm sure she'll burst in here and correct me in a minute. But essentially, this was her Christmas present. So we went to London for the weekend. Nice romantic weekend of us figuring out how the hell to get around London, getting lost. I'll get into that story in a minute. But basically, the orchestra itself was incredible. Like Yoko Taro himself was there. The only problem with the orchestra is they ran out of merch. Like almost.
Not get any merch?
Got no merch. They had nothing. We went down because we were gonna buy like a shirt. I think we were gonna buy like a CD, maybe like a little keychain or something. And the lady said, "Oh, we don't have any Nier merch left." She couldn't give a shit. Like she just didn't care. She's like, "But we got Final Fantasy stuff here." It's like, well, who the hell asked for Final Fantasy stuff at a Nier
concert? What the what?
But yeah, no, the concert was it was just really good. I got spoiled because I've only played I'm trying to think. I just unlocked A2, I believe her name is, which is apparently not that far into the game. But
okay.
Anyway,
I've never played it, so like you could say anything. I'll be like, okay, sounds good.
I don't even know if what I'm saying is right, but anyway, London itself was a fucking nightmare. So the other big reason we went to London too is because we were just basically because we can just take a train there and then take a train back, and it's like 2 hours each way. But we stayed the weekend because I decided I was going to film. That's when I filmed my going around London and go to different manga shops.
Okay, so yeah.
I wanted to get a good idea of how to get around London the first day we got there. So we spent 3 hours, figuring out how. We spent an hour and a half figuring out how to use like the tube, which is like the big subway system there. Which is, I don't know if it's famous for this, but it is famous to me for being ridiculously convoluted, overpacked, and if you're a person who regularly uses the tube, you're just a piece of shit by default.
Like, damn. Everyone in London.
Personal space, or just spatial awareness, or just manners. But We eventually figured out the tube. We got to the busiest part of London, which is like right in the smack dab middle of it. And after I got out of the trance of seeing all those double-decker buses and everything, we were like, okay, let's figure out how to go to the big, what's it called? Forbidden Planet, which is like the main comic book, like nerdy, geeky store here. But there's like a giant mega store in London. I said, let's figure out where that is first. So we pulled up Google, and the connection wasn't great. So we said, okay, yeah, we gotta go up this road, da 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 da. 2 hours later, we arrived at our destination, which we later found out was a 10-minute walk from where we started.
Nice, nice.
I was like, I was filming the entire time, thinking, oh, I'll just cut this together as a nice little montage thing. Right as I step into Forbidden Planet, my phone dies.
Oh, what?
Can I use your phone? She's like, I have 10% left. So I'm like, well, let's get home before our phones die and we just don't know how to get back. So we had to we were there. I had my foot in the door and we had to go right back. But we knew how it was for the next time. Went around London. I'll give you a link to throw in the description if anyone's interested to seeing where to get manga if you ever go to London, England. Yeah, I mean, aside from that, pretty okay weekend.
Nice. I know what it means. I know how you feel like being in like a confusing city. Because for my senior trip, we went to New York City. We went up to New York City. We went to New York, and then we went to Times Square. And that, I mean, as small as that place was, there's so much stuff, and it's so packed. It was crazy, dude.
That looks scary to me, you see.
I loved it, dude. I love cities, and I don't know, something about the city is I really enjoy, and like even though it was like super crowded, there was so many like cool things and like stuff to do within Times Square. It was awesome.
I love the city too. Like I used to think when I was your age, as old as it makes me sound, that I would live in a city, but now not a fucking chance in hell.
Right.
Like driving in I have to applaud the bravery of anyone who thinks driving in London, England is viable. Couldn't do it. I understand how people do it. Anyway.
I feel like I like it more visiting. It's like one of those things that are cool to like visit.
Yeah. If I can go home at the end of the day, I'll go to a city any day of the week.
Exactly. As long as I don't have to stay in that hellhole. Because like you get like that fun like like the dopamine's like, yo, this is awesome. And if you are living there, that's gonna wear off. And you're gonna be like, I hate every single second of this every day.
Well, one thing I'd like to, I'm sure you live in kind of a smallish city or town like I do. It's nice when you go to the city and there's just places to go and things to do.
Oh yeah.
And not everything sucks.
For real. It's almost like there's nothing to do here, so you look forward to like going to those other places.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Yeah, but that is the Nier Automata Nier Orchestra concert. You have anything else you'd like to say on that? Because then we're gonna move on to our last photo. Okay,
yeah, we'll move on.
Let's get on to our last photo. And my God, this thing. Tell me about Knifebird. Like right here. What the hell?
My brother call it. So this thing is the Spirit Catcher. It was just an artistic installation they put down by the waterfront of our hometown, of my hometown rather. And I don't know if there's any like mysticism or anything behind it. I'm pretty sure it's just like a guy made it and they put it up. My grandmother used to tell me it was like it would ward away spirits. But it literally just looks like a metal knife hazard because where I used to live, it's tornadoes frequently. So how this hasn't caused any issue. I mean, when it's windy, those things rock back and forth. Like when it's like really windy, like the water's coming off the lake, it's like
dude, it kind of looks like a show, like some like anime villain's like ultimate, like Lick's ultimate move, like when he has the swords. That looks like it's gonna be like rain down upon it.
Yeah. But literally, my town, like where I came from, is so forgettable, except for this one stupid thing.
I've never forgot about Knifebird once I saw it, and I don't even live there.
Yeah, it's not even that interesting to see.
I just like the phrase Knifebird.
All right, and then you just move on. That's it.
This figure is cool. Let's just move on to the next thing. That's what I thought about Washington D.C. when I went there, because it feels just like, because I'm kind of close to Chicago, and it just felt like Chicago, and it was just like a bunch of monuments and stuff, and I was like, cool, that's monument. Next thing.
That's really honestly all it is. But like, nobody goes to Barrie, where I've already said it, where I'm from, Barrie, Ontario. That is, to go to Barrie, Ontario. If you're in Barrie, you're passing through to go to Toronto. So it's, like,
it's just a flyby thing.
You're like stopping to like maybe go for a swim at the beach or like get something to eat. You're like, yeah, cool, because that's a parking lot, basically where it is.
Okay.
So. Yeah.
But Godspeed, Knifebird. Godspeed.
Godspeed, Knifebird.
That is awesome. Anyway, that is it for the Twitter deep dive. We're gonna head on to our next story, and that is Sony is developing a One Punch Man Hollywood live action film. So yeah, I don't think is there much information on this besides that it got announced. So there's a screenwriter by Scott Rosenberg and Jeff Pinker who did Venom and Jumanji. So that's basically all we know.
You know, for all the crap that live action anime adaptations get, I think One Punch Man, you know, it's just a generic superhero movie with like a really funny gimmick. That's one that I think actually will work. But it really depends on who plays Saitama.
I think my fear about this is they're going to Americanize it. Because the whole thing about One Punch Man is that he defeats everybody with one punch. And I'm afraid what they're going to do is like the typical superhero thing where they have him fight and then he looks like he's about to lose, but like that really doesn't happen. Like it's always a one punch of victory. So it never really.
I'm hopeful. I don't think they're gonna. I mean, One Punch Man is so recognizable, even if fans, even if people who are like tangentially familiar with anime. I think they're gonna go see this and go, "Hey, wait a minute!" If they do what you said they do, they're gonna be like, "That's not right."
Yeah, I feel like everyone's gonna know it's off if they do that.
Yeah, I'm confident they're gonna at least. There's very little you could get wrong with. I think One Punch Man.
Right.
A live action.
Who do you think should play him? It's got to be someone who's good at being emotional. Who?
It's like, who could play him?
Right. My guess was going to be, I think his name is Jesse Eisenberg. Whoever plays like Lex Luthor in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah. I can only ever see him as the guy from Zombieland or
that's what he's from too.
Or about the Social Network when he plays Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, it's really tough.
Danny DeVito.
Danny.
Imagine.
Danny DeVito should play Genos.
I don't know who that. I haven't read One Punch Man, so I don't really know a lot of the characters in it.
Cyborg guy. I mean, if we're just going straight on bald actors just for the sake of it, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
But he's skinny though. Like Saitama's skinny.
Vin Diesel. Sean Evans from Hot Ones, maybe.
Sean Evans from. What's up, guys? I'm Saitama. I'm here with some hot wings and even hotter questions.
Even hotter punches.
Even hotter punches. Bro, oh, dude, imagine the hot one.
It's one of those things where you just kind of gotta wait to see what's gonna happen. Right. I mean, everyone still thinks Ghost in the Shell's live action movie sucked. I thought it was good, but we're not.
Right. I heard Battle Angel Alita was received pretty well.
Alita is the best, hands down. Maybe after the Wachowski Speed Racer. The best live action anime adaptation ever. Like, it's perfectly faithful. It does everything right. And if it doesn't get a sequel, I will riot. Like,
I need to watch it still. It looks really good. The CGI was a little bit weird at first. Like, getting used to like humanized like anime eyes was a bit like weird, but it still looks like really good.
It's perfect, man. It's honestly so good.
Okay.
Like,
I gotta check it out.
My brother, my youngest brother, is very vehemently not into anime. Yeah. He always jokes about how like every anime opening is just guys running for no reason. I mean, he's
not 100% wrong.
Not 100% wrong. So he saw it and he was so into it he went and saw it again.
Nice, dude. So, okay, my friend who's also Vietnamese against anime. Loved Weathering with You. I forced him to go. I paid for his ticket so I didn't have to go alone, and then he said he liked it too. And I was so happy that he ended up enjoying it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is it for that. That's just gonna happen. I don't think there's even a release date yet. It's just been like getting in production.
We're doing it, and it might be like Akira. They've been saying they're going to do an Akira live action since I was in high school, and you know,
damn, never gonna happen. Just talk about it forever.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, let's get on to our next topic, and that is 7 Seas licensed a ton of manga. So basically, we're going to go through the descriptions of these. Basically, copper drop based on first impressions. Again, these are first impressions. Take it with a grain of salt. We know nothing beyond the description. Like, I don't know. I mean, did you see, like, the licenses? Like, have you seen them all?
Every time 7 Seas puts out stuff, first of all, I'm not going to knock Seven Seas. I love what they do, and the fact that they're bringing out all these, they know their niche. Let's just put it that way. They know their niche, LGBT manga, and they know their niche with isekai stuff.
Isekai, Yuri, LGBT,
Yuri, yaoi, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They know that they do what they do best. I do buy from them. Like they put Gigant out. They have a few other series that I like. A lot of the time when they do announcements, I am not that interested in what they're putting out. I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering this correctly, the one thing they're putting out that we'll get into eventually is something I'm actually really looking forward to, though.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. We'll
Probably.
get into it a little later if you want to, but we'll get into these licenses. First off,
Yeah.
like you said, not only is it a Yuri, it is a light novel Yuri. So I'm already gonna tell you right now, I'm passing on this because I couldn't care less. But
Yeah.
it's called I'm in Love with the Villainess, and the description goes: ordinary office worker Oyahashi Rei wakes up in the body of the protagonist of her favorite otame game, Revolution. To her delight, the first person to greet her is also her favorite character, Claire Francis, the main antagonist of the story. Now Rei is determined to romance Claire instead of the game's male lead, but how will her villainous lady love react to this new courtship? Pass. I couldn't care. Yeah, right.
This is not for me. I'm sure it's funny to people who play otome games, which I'm imagining is women for the most part. Straight up for me, though, don't give a crap.
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
I 100% agree. There is, okay, I will hint, there is a Yuri title that I might get in here, because the title, it did intrigue me to how it's going to, like, end up. But that's a little later. So, next up, we have the Sorceress, God of Destruction, and the Golem of the Barbarian, which is, again, by the title alone, I can tell you I don't care. But
I'm sorry, I love the one, right, can I read the author and, like, the author's names?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
So, The Sorcerer, King of Destruction, and the Golem of the Barbarian Queen is by Shiba Hinaka Inoue and North Carolina. And he's an adventure about a boy and his magical bodyguard.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's just like, man, I need like an English name for like my pen name. North Carolina, that sounds vaguely pen name like.
He's like, yeah, let's just, what sounds good? Let me look at the states, because that's what all Americans love.
Yeah, that's
Right.
exactly. I'll get popular in the States with a North American name, like
Nothing pulls in readers like North Carolina.
yeah.
It's such a weird thing, but basically, yeah, it's basically about this dude who gets summoned. It's another isekai. He gets summoned to another world, and he's not good, and he ends up summoning some really powerful elf creature or something like that, and he's overpowered now. And that's basically what it is. It's very basic. It's going to have the manga and the light novel.
Hard pass.
Hard pass. It's like,
do not give a shit.
I love, again, I respect what they do, and I do. But man, it's hard to enjoy some of these titles sometimes.
You and me, man, I think we're so set in our taste that like just unless something is so like gripping just from the outset, or it's like something we already know we like, we're not gonna read it.
Oh yeah, 100%. We're like very set in our ways at this point.
Yeah.
Like, am I interested about the concept? Nope. Well, throw it in the trash. I'm skipping.
Yeah, exactly.
I get to the point where I'm just like, I have already so much stuff on my to be read. It's like, man, I can't just keep buying stuff just because it like slightly interests me in some way.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it, and especially because we only have so much money.
Oh yeah, exactly. I don't have endless income.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're gonna get on to our next one. This is the one I'm gonna check out. This is the first Yuri title I will check out because it did kind of interest me.
Yeah.
It's like the concept itself was pretty interesting. You want to go for it? You have it pulled up, right? You want to go for it?
I have it pulled up. 1 second here. It is How Many Light Years to Babylon by Doman Seiman, who created.
You're right. That is the next one. The Yuri title.
I skipped the Yuri title. I thought we already did that one. That shows how little I care. It's called Roll Over and Die. I Will Fight for an Ordinary Life with My
You can do
Love.
the next one if you want. If you don't care about this one, because I'll talk. This is one I am interested in.
And you know what? Sorry, listeners. I'm going to pass this off to you then.
Thank you. You can do the next one because the next one does seem pretty cool. But anyway, this is I will fight for an ordinary life and my love and cursed sword. So basically, this is by Flame. A girl called Flame Apricot would have been content to live in her entire life in her little village in peace. Unfortunately, her Unfortunately for her, a god prophesied she would be the one to defeat the Demon King. And Flam, with her terrible stats and useless abilities, has known nothing but misery ever since her life hits rock bottom when the hero's party, fed up with dragging her dead weight along, decides to sell her off into slavery to get rid of her. But a brush with death finally awakens something in Flame. Rather than ending her story by... What the way that was punctuated really messed me up. But her story might be getting started and is just getting started, and this time, instead of a traitorous party, she has a woman she loves by her side. This is a manga adaptation of the light novel. I just kind of like the story. I like the whole, like, she's betrayed by her party. It's kind of Rise of the Shield hero, but...
Sounds kind of cool, yeah. I will admit it. The name, I don't like it. Light novel name.
Light novel. It screams light novel.
Just gotta stop light novel names. Flame Apricot is a fucking cool protagonist name, so I might just check it out for that. I think, and the art looks pretty cool. Like, this main character design is pretty damn cool.
It doesn't seem like too bad. Like I don't.
We'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
Right.
Yeah.
This is like the one that actually man, I just damn it, I just accidentally clicked off the whole thing. Give me a second. But yeah, this is like the synopsis pulled me in. I was like, huh. This actually seems interesting for like it's a fantasy too, so it's not an isekai. It's weird that when you're like, oh, it's not an isekai, now I'm more willing to accept it, even though they're basically the same exact thing.
It's like it's missing one thing that would make it an isekai, but it's suddenly almost 100% more interesting, you know?
Exactly. It's like, oh, they didn't get teleported? I'm kind of interested now.
I don't care. Yeah, I care more, suddenly.
All right, you want to get into the next one while I'm pulling it up?
The next one. So if you've read The Voynich Hotel, which is a very good manga by Doman Seimon. He's got a new manga coming out from Seven Seas called How Many Light Years to Babylon, which follows Bub, who is the last human in the whole galaxy, but he doesn't even know how that happened. So after being found in a space capsule, he discovers Earth was destroyed, everyone he has ever known is dead, but now he travels around the galaxy with a bunch of alien scavenger friends, trying to figure out what happened to his past, what happened to Earth, and more importantly, how to pick up alien chicks, because the human race is going to repopulate itself after all. Heard what the blurb says, and I love it. This is just like a tagline, I think. Blast off with unique and hilarious, self-contained manga.
Dude, that's one I'm actually really interested in. Like, Voyage manga really interested me.
Yeah, Voynich Hotel is a really good manga. And this one sounds funny. This one sounds like it's, like I said, not a big fan of comedy manga, but this one, you know.
It seems pretty good, dude. And it's nice that it's a one-shot, too, so you're not, like, investing into, like, 30 volumes.
Yeah, exactly. And like just the cover art looks really quirky. This little like pink hot dog looking alien, not a hot dog, what am I thinking? Hot dog colored looking alien down at the bottom.
Yeah.
The robot thing, this devil girl, I don't know, it just all looks really interesting. Like, dude, this cover
so
cool. Rated, you know?
I love sci-fi. Sci-fi and slice of life are my two favorite genres, so yeah. I'm 100% into this. And his he seems to have like a very unique art style and like way he writes. I never got to check out Voynich's Hotel, so I need to check it out. But this one seems pretty cool. It's only 3 volumes, right?
Voynich Hotel, yeah, it's relatively short, from what I remember.
Yeah, I want to read that. But anyway, let's get on to the next series that we both don't care about. So, spoiler alert, it's a yaoi.
Yeah, and it's a yaoi. We're not saying it because, you know,
it's just not our thing, right? Everyone has their preferences. It's just not ours.
If you're into yaoi and boys love, this is for you.
Yeah. Manly Appetites. Minagishi loves Uchuu boys love manga. Oh, the title itself is just like, it screams yaoi. But yeah. Anyway, let's get into the title, then we'll move on real quick. I'll just read the description. We'll move on to the next one. Minagishi is a handsome, friendly salaryman rising through the ranks at his work. He does have one insatiable desire at the office. He loves to feed his grumpy coworker, Uchuu. Uchuu might be taking the food. I can hear like you grumbling in the background.
I'm reading this like just ahead of you. I'm just gonna sum it up for the readers. This is just a boys love manga about a feeder. That's really all it is. This guy is just making his coworker fat.
He's like canceling and gruddling him.
That's exactly it. Like, there's a term for it. It's like there are people called feeders who purposely make their partner fatter for the sexual thrill, and that's all this is.
What? I didn't even know that was like.
I'm not even making up. That's an actual thing. It's a. You know, everyone's got their thing, but that one's fucking weird.
That is weird. That might be weirder than feet, and I hate feet. Actually, that is weirder than feet.
No comment, but we'll move on because neither of us care about this one.
Right.
I'll say this one.
Okay, go for it.
Was it a manga? Yeah. This manga is called a... Where the hell did it go now? Sorry, my tab closed. There we go. Didn't I say to make my abilities average in the next life? Everyday Misadventures, which I assume is a hilarious spin-off for the Fantasy Isekai franchise, which I actually just read there. So when it comes to reincarnation, most people hope for a better life, except for recent high school graduate Kuriharu Masato. She just wants an average life. So unfortunately for her, thanks to God's interesting interpretation of average, she is reborn as a young girl with incredible magical powers. She can achieve the normal she's always longed for, and her not-so-average abilities betray her. Follow the everyday antics of our lovable heroes in this new collection. So it's just like a 4-panel, like 4-coma.
It's a 4-coma, thing. Yeah.
It's nothing. I mean, if you
like it,
not already invested in this series, you probably won't care about
There's
this.
no point in checking out like a spin-off. Oh, I'm skipping on this. That's the same thing I thought about Arafuda, the one that came out earlier. I do like the OG, like the one that's coming out. That's the main one, but the spin-off of it is like it's so like no. Just,
I mean, that's a valid thing. Yeah, it's like a valid thing to say. If you're already not invested in the main series, why the hell would you read the spinoff?
Especially a 4-coma, when it's all it's going to be is like jokes about the series. I understand nothing, but I continue anyway. Yeah. It's just like, and I'm not even really a big fan of 4-comas. Like I think there's only one series that I've ever like kind of enjoyed, and I didn't even like the ending to it. And I think it was 1 Week's Friends, and it's basically about this girl who has amnesia or whatever from like some event, and she like forgets who she is.
That was good actually, yeah.
It wasn't bad, right? I was just kind of
K-On! You ever read K-On! Or watch K-On!?
I've heard of it. I need to check it
out. Moe show. I'm not a Moe guy, but I loved K-On!
Nice. I'll have to check that out. Like right now, my to be read is Shiki, which Neon told me to watch. It's a horror manga about like some weird disease.
Wait. Oh, Shiki?
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna love that.
You've seen it? Yeah,
you're gonna love Shiki, man.
Nice. I can't wait to check that out. And then next up, I have Clan Ed, which is Neon's favorite one. He won't shut the fuck up about it, so I'm finally gonna watch it.
Cry like a bitch.
That's what everyone keeps saying. It's like you're gonna cry. I was like, okay. And now my third one right now is K-On! So it's good for me.
Hell yeah,
dude. Hell yeah. 100%. Like, okay, so next up we have another thing. Let's get. Anyone want to take bets about how much we're gonna enjoy this next series?
How many more series are left? Because all of these I don't really care about.
We'll just skip, let's go. Let's just find one that we like.
I don't care about any of them actually.
Really?
I'll see. You know what?
Furry, the base furry one.
I'm gonna just run through all the titles.
Go for it.
Because we're gonna be here for hours talking about stuff. So the next one is a Yuri romance called Days of Love at Seagull Villa by the mangaka of I Married My Best Friend to Shut My Parents Up, Kodama Naoko, which is about a woman who leaves her fiance for another woman, and they move away and start over life by the seaside. Next is Trapped in a Dating Sim, The World of Otome Games is Tough for Mobs, which I don't, it's a light novel series, which sounds exactly like the title. It's all in the description's all in the title.
Yeah, you already know what it's about.
Yeah, there's one, a shoujo manga called Kageki Shoujo, The Curtain Rises by Kumiko Saiki. This is about a young woman who goes to an arts academy to basically play all the roles of like parts of musical theater. She plays like auto female roles, playing male roles, following through all that. A furry manga called Tamamo-chan's A Fox.
This is gonna be the manga of the year, dude.
Yeah, so it's about a fox from an Inari shrine in Kyoto who may or may not be a goddess. She wants to just try high school out. But gets halfway into transforming to a human girl. She just this cover. We'll pull it up maybe if you feel like editing it.
I got it pulled up.
She's in Shibuya. Just look at this. Like she's got a Starbucks.
This is the stupidest shit I've seen. Oh man.
So we'll move on.
Let's move on to that trash.
Where was it? It was the
next up is the Saint's magic power is omnipotent. It's the light novel and manga series. It is about Shiro and Fujiyazuki, the delightful tale of a woman building a business in a fantasy world, which is like, I mean, if we're gonna do fantasy, a business, not too bad. It's okay. Then next up we have Kingdom of Ruin. This one seems kind of interesting.
This one I am looking forward to.
Okay, you want to read this one? Cover this one real quick.
Yeah, so it's about humanity has. I'll just read it. Okay. Humanity long lived in harmony after. Sorry, let me just start over.
You good?
Humanity long lived in harmony with witches. There we go. But an advanced scientific revolution made their powers of a witch unnecessary. So succumbing to the resentment and fear, the greatest nation in the world begins a brutal witch hunt and eliminates all witches from the land. After being forced to watch his beloved teacher die, Adonis, a witch's apprentice, swears revenge on the empire that took everything away from him. It's a bloody battle between science and magic. this sounds fucking cool.
Dude, this sounds
honestly.
awesome.
Like,
you know what it reminds me of? Is that one shot that was in Shonen Jump, the Science versus Magic.
Yeah.
Dude, this
yeah,
seems
like
cool.
that and Code Geass.
Yeah.
Together.
Dude, it's like a dark. It seems really dark and gritty. This one I'm actually excited for. This one seems pretty cool.
Yeah. We said there's none that we're excited for.
Proved you wrong.
Anyway, proved us wrong. Assholes.
Hey, I mean that's good for us though. I mean it's better than being like, oh, yeah, I hate everything. Yeah. It's like I mean I'd rather be wrong and be like, oh yeah, cool. There is stuff we like.
Yeah. Next one is an LGBT manga called Even Though We're Adults, from the creator of Sweet Blue Flowers and Wandering Sun. I have watched and read Wandering Sun, which even if you're not a fan of like LGBT themes, which whatever, very good manga. Like just very like.
Been interested in it for a while, but it's like really out of
very interesting. It's a very interesting, well-written manga for sure. I watched the anime first, and it's really, honestly beautiful, like the way the story is told. It's about like an elementary school teacher in her 30s, stops by a bar, runs into an old friend, and then I think they just fall in love. But her friend has a husband, so they're just trying to like wade their way around that.
Oh, okay.
And then the last thing is a for people who have read My Lesbian Experience with Loneliness, and then the follow-up to that, My Solo Exchange Diary, is Nagata Kabi's another autobiographical manga called My Alcohol Escape from Reality, which follows basically her. I imagine it's going to be a short manga that shows her downward spiral with alcoholism.
Yeah, it's probably going to be that.
Which
it's going to be
this
heavy.
Woman.
It's just going to be a messed up life, dude. Wait, I am confused though, because she has a lesbian one, but then the My Solar Exchange is about her and her boyfriend like being uncomfortable with having sex with her. So I'm just like, I don't know, like I don't know anything about it. It's just confusing.
Well, I mean, she could just be like what, like I don't know. We'll leave it to like better minds to talk about this kind of stuff.
We don't know enough. We're just simpletons.
We don't know enough. We're just simple podcast co-hosts.
Right. We just like our seinen. We just want to watch dark stuff happen. I'm just looking for the end of the Eclipse arc right now.
I don't want to think. I don't want to think about dark, like deep, real world stuff.
Yeah,
I want to watch
read manga
guys fight each other with swords and magic.
Exactly. I didn't come here to get depressed.
Yeah, exactly. If I want to get sometimes.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It says the guy who like favorite manga is like Goodnight Poom Poom. Well, it's not your favorite manga, but one of your favorite.
One of them. Favorite enough to get tattooed, but I'm gonna actually getting that tattooed over once this is all over. So.
Oh, nice. I still need to check out Goodnight Poom Poom. I have volume 1, but I just want to get it all and read it.
Oh yeah, it's gotta be. I'd say yeah. You should read it all in one go.
It feels like one of those that are better to read in just like one sitting.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing with Blades of the Immortal. I'm like halfway through that now.
That's on my that's once I'm done buying all the stuff I have on my list right now. That's next. For me.
You haven't read it yet?
Not yet, but there's like another edition coming out soon, isn't there?
The deluxe editions. I would just recommend waiting for those. It's gonna be like the Berserk editions.
I hate the Berserk.
They're cool. The deluxe ones?
They're cool, but they're so like unnecessarily big.
That's what makes them so cool, though. That's the selling point. Don't think you understand.
It's something cool to have on your shelf, not to like just imagine like trying to read that and
trust me. No, dude,
put it on your face.
Reading it is a lot better than what you think. Like if you think it's like bulky or not, it's really not that bad.
Well, I'll take your
and like
word
the two panels when you see like the panels and stuff, it'll be worth it. Like it just seems kind of wonky, but when you actually do it, it's not bad. And it's made like well enough to where it doesn't feel like floppy or anything.
I'll take your word for it.
I mean, if you're not gonna get it. But well, if you get Blades of the Immortal, you're gonna find out. You're gonna be like, you lied to me. Why could you do this? Anyway, next up for our last topic, right? Do you have anything else you want to say about the 7C stuff?
Yeah.
You do?
Nope. Nope.
Yeah. No. Okay. Last up, we're gonna go for the shower thoughts, and basically this is a segment where we just kind of discuss a topic that I have thought up or I've seen online, but basically this is going to be a question of how will COVID-19 affect the anime industry? And now, before I turn it to you, the reason I kind of thought about this was I was watching Hot Ones, where I stole that idea from earlier. So this podcast is basically half of it now is just Hot Ones, but in a podcast form. But I was watching it with the comedian, I think his name's Bert Krishner. Basically, he's the guy who did like the Russian story or whatever. He's always shirtless on stage. But basically, he was talking about how in the comedy scene, like with all this COVID stuff, like bigger artists are going to have to go to smaller venues. And those artists who are in the smaller venues are have to go to smaller venues. And then the people who are like no names are going to get kicked out of like the smallest venues because the people are going to take up those spots. So there's going to be less and less area.
Yeah.
So that made me think about like anime. So with all this stuff getting delayed and all this stuff, you're going to have less and less stuff for licensing. So it's going to basically hurt licensing. And at least what I see is that it's going to hurt licensing in the way that you're going to get less licenses for anime. In my opinion, though, I don't think less would be too bad because we're so oversaturated and overspoiled with anime at this point. There's like, it almost seems like there's too much anime coming out.
Yeah, I can agree with that to a point. I mean, the problem with it is, especially when you're running TV anime, is that if you have to push stuff back in a time slot, the time slots are usually, to my understanding with how TV works, at least in North America, time slots are pretty much booked up for an indefinite period of time.
Yeah.
So it's like they know what's going to be in that specific time slot for years ahead of time in some cases. So if like everything that's being delayed now is getting pushed back to the summer season, and then everything that starts in the summer is going to have to get pushed back to the fall season, and so on and so forth. It's like, what was it? Promised Neverland was a fall manga or a fall anime.
Yeah,
that's getting pushed back to 2021 now. Apari Raman, which we tried getting into, and now we have to wait for, isn't coming back until I think the fall now.
Dude, it's crazy.
It's either the summer. I'm pretty sure it's August. I read somewhere, but I might be wrong. Black Clover finally took a break, not because it wanted to, but because it had to. Everything. It's frustrating because you're inside and there's nothing to do except watch anime, but now you can't.
I know, that's what I was like. This is like a weeb's nightmare. We're stuck inside, and now we can't even do the one thing we do.
But now, all of us weebs are like, we have to go through our backlog that we keep saying that we're going to do, but never do.
It's like, I gotta watch.
We have that opportunity now, but it's... yeah, exactly. But, my heart, of course, goes out to all the creators and everyone who are, like, lost their jobs or have to, go on unemployment or are working from home, which I can imagine is a huge pain in the ass. It's always a pain in the ass when you're working on something that gets pushed back.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So... fingers crossed all this crap gets sorted out soon.
I hope so. We're starting to like slowly reopen stuff here in America. Like
they're talking about doing it here too, but I don't know because like it's really weird because like I hear some people saying like, yeah, we're gonna open stuff up very gradually. Like McDonald's is starting to think about, because McDonald's here is closed.
Okay.
And they're starting to think about opening up a little bit now. That said, we're still up like 600 to 900 deaths a day.
It's crazy.
So it's like, it's crazy.
But it's like, but you can only shut the economy down for so long before like it's like too death. You can't just keep, because like what we keep doing here is like we keep like bailing people out, like getting like relief packages and stuff. It's like we already don't have this money. Like we can't keep just like throwing it out there.
That's what I mean. Like, one argument for that would show my complete and total ignorance to how money, the economy, and the world works is, why don't you just stop the economy until this is over and not worry about debts and loans and shit like that until this is done? It's because doesn't that make more sense?
It would, but I think, that would involve the entire world shutting down until it's over. And if you shut down the economy, you can't have like businesses making masks. You can't have businesses doing like hospitals and like all that stuff. Like even like around here, one of our like hospitals had like a $75 million loss, like just from the COVID thing. And
it's like, weird to think about a hospital business, though.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, it's weird.
That's another topic for people smarter than us, though.
Exactly. let us two weebs who are just talking about fucking.
Let's talk about what we know about, which is barely anime and manga.
Yeah, we just pretend we know that stuff. We fake it till you make it. But hey, I mean, it does suck. It's really like sad to do, but like you said, we got to be read, and with all the like anime that's out, God, you still have like thousands and like $100,000 of like stuff to catch up on. Yeah. Like I already have 3
no weeb right now. Yeah, like no weeb right now has any excuse to be bored.
Oh yeah, 100%. I started learning drums. Like I was just like, I've been wanting to like learn an instrument. I was like, well, I got nothing else to do. Might as well learn drums and watch anime. That's my life now.
You just have drums lying around to learn, or did you just go get some?
Oh,
okay.
Surprisingly,
that's pretty cool,
I was like, oh, this probably isn't gonna, like, they probably won't ship it or whatever. So, but they ended up doing Guitar Center shipped it, and I just disinfected like to hell, and now it's in my garage, and I've been learning drums now.
But your parents love that.
Oh, dude. Oh, my God. Okay, so, like, I was like, my mom's like, there's a noise ordinance at 10 o'clock. I'm like, nobody cares about a noise ordinance. Like, what are you talking about? She's like, I can hear you in here. I'm like, no, you can't. So I, like, go out there at, like, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm just, like, playing drums. She's like, I can hear you. Like, the next morning, she's like, no, you can't. She's like, go in my room and listen. And I was like, okay. And then you could hear it, and then I was like, shit. It's so loud, like it is going from my garage, which is even connected to my house, through the entire house all the way to the back of it, and you could still hear it, like, audibly. I was like, wow. Damn.
Of all the instruments you had to learn, it was the loudest.
Yeah, I
couldn't
know.
have learned like a guitar.
I'm like known as like a loud person though, so I'm like, might as well do what I'm told. Just fitting
Yeah,
my
that's
character.
fair.
And dude, drums are actually like fairly fun to do. It's just really hard to try to figure out, like, because each part usually is moving in like some different way. Like you have even like
Sure.
even your left foot, which usually is on something called the hi-hat. Where people who don't know it, it's basically it's a cymbal that are right on top of each other, and you basically either open or close it. But for a song like 7/8 and Army, you're basically tapping with your foot, opening and closing it, and that's the beat instead of hitting the hi-hat. And so just learning how like do like 4 different things at once is very complicated, but I think there's a lot of like benefits like learning to be able to like multitask like that. And I'm like really having fun with it. So, you know.
Well, that's good to hear them. Yeah, at least you've made the most out of this fiasco, if you will.
If I'm locked at home, I might as well be productive in some way. Like I can't just not sit
Yeah.
watch anime. I mean, it's productive for me, but I don't think it's helping me all that much.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Go check out Zach. You want to plug your stuff again real quick? I will have all the links in the description to his channel, his second channel, his podcast, because everything's got to be on something different. I'll even put his Twitter in there because I'm a nice guy. But anyway, Zach, go ahead and plug your shit.
Look in the description.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I make manga videos over at Uchuu Shelf, which again, link in the description. I make reaction videos, commentary videos about just the stupid people of everyday life. Over at Exactly, it's a new channel. I've got another video coming out. I'm hoping this week because I'm working really hard on it. I'll tell you about it off air.
Nice.
I've got a podcast called Between the Shelves. We've got a 4th episode coming eventually. Not sure when. I've got a Twitter account. I've got an Instagram account that I don't use, so you don't have to worry about it. I've got another Twitter account. What else do I have?
What else do I have? Plug.
I've got a clubhouse that we meet up on Fridays out in my backyard. You got to come around the back though. You got to be quiet if you don't want to wake my father-in-law.
No girls allowed. Right?
Yeah, no girls allowed. If you don't know the handshake, don't even bother coming. We used to meet at Pizza Hut every couple of months, but can't do it now. So we might do like a virtual pizza meetup at some point, and that's really it. Yeah.
All right.
That's it. Yeah, that's really it.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you so much, Zach, for hopping on. I'm really glad to have you on as a guest, as our first guest on the podcast.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, but anyway,
first
guys,
and only.
First and only. You have somebody else? I'm taking it down. I'm canceling your channel.
I will copyright claim it.
Oh shit. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I'll see you in another video.